around how to ensure that there's data privacy, so that there's not data leakages. Bad players, doing bad things, because there's a lot of things that can be done with AI. And in fact, before I answer that, there's a question that was being asked what AI superpower, or it's around AI superpower and me. It will have been to make bad prompts or bad outputs that someone wants from AI not to run. So if your prompt is geared towards, causing harm, then I'll prevent that from executive from running. So that's like my superpower. But to answer your question specifically, is AI can be a tool for good and also a tool for destruction, right? And we cannot leave this to AI players alone. If you remember a company like Cloud, or Anthropic, they said they had built a model called Ethos that was able to hack, or that was able to expose the vulnerability that exists in so many systems and platforms. And they said, guys, will not release it. Instead, what we'll do is we'll go to the companies that we tested this thing with and show them this vulnerability that exists. Okay? So it means there will be players like those who, out of their own goodwill, we decide to make sure that AI is not used for harm. And then there's companies that, of course, like the example you've given, will go scrap your personal data or whatever and go sell. So what I normally say is this: there has to be government involvement in terms of putting policies. Right? Like right now, even in Kenya, you realize that even for those who go to entertainment joints, nowadays you cannot just take someone's photo and post, because of the data privacy that came as a result of the commission that was formed. So some of this thing is a concerted effort from different players to make sure you prevent that. Else, there will always be breaches. Okay? There was a young kid in the US who recently was jailed because of several people to breach. Okay, so it's a concerted effort. I can't say specifically there's this one fit all solution that you can apply to make sure there's no data breaches. It's you taking your personal, just be proactive how you build your app to make sure that it cannot be breached. You prevent it being breached, and you use professionals who are in cybersecurity, all those things, to enhance security to it. So that's the long and short that I can tell you. In summary, even the best systems can be, breached. Okay, the best thing to just make sure with AI you learn how these people think and you prevent it before it happens.
Okay, there was another hand that was here with a question for Alex. You, okay?
Okay, mine is pretty simple. You mentioned that it's always easy to detect AI work. So what is that one or two things that you see and then you realize this is definitely AI? This is to all of you. And also, you mentioned Outlook will have its own session. Could you just give us a snip? Just something, Gemini, Gmail, it works with Gmail, but the Outlook, could you tell us what we can, maybe homework on what we can do for the Outlook? Because I know most companies, businesses use Outlook instead of the Gmail. Yeah.
You want to answer that?
Okay. Do I take another two sets of two questions so that you just do it in summary? There's another hand on this side.
So mine is around data privacy. Of you can answer the more to how safe is the information we share in various AI tools? Recently, I was reading, I don't know whether it was a joke or not, but it was online. It was talking about AI confessing to a murder that had happened. So somebody got it to AI and typed how to get away with murder, and they wanted now to successfully execute it. And so it was policeman wearing these AI tools, and of course, the number one snitch was, but the rest were sort of hesitant, but of information that I mean, how do you ensure, is it safe? I think that
All right, one more question before you do the answers. When you're asking a question, you can say, my question goes to either Alex, Hampton, or Alexander, Hampton, or Cliff.
My question goes to the rest. In terms of recruitment nowadays, I've realized that they look at those people who did their masters and their degrees past AI era days. Some of students now are doing their online degrees, and they're also studying during AI era, and it gives high chances for those who got their papers prior. So do you think this is going to affect employment for the new generation in the future? Thank you.
All right, before you go to the next questions, now you may proceed with your answers, please.
All right, I think there was a question on detecting AI work. How? So, like personally, I'm also able to easily detect AI work. Sometimes even AI emails, because of how they sound. It's really difficult to point out this is how the patterns of, let's say, an email looks like. But if I know the person, I know their language. I know how they speak, how they think, so you know, oh, definitely this is it. If you use Claude, there's generally how a lot of Claude things look like, especially presentations, proposals. There's how they are structured, there's how they look. So it's very easy to pick that out, especially for those of us who use Claude. I'm a very big user of Claude. Websites also, I've seen a lot of websites now, the structures look the same, the fonts are the same, it's sort of following the same pattern. So I don't know, okay, for I don't know if it's an eye for it, like you see the way people have a musical year, is the same way the AI one has, but there are some obvious things like for the documents that you create. So if you don't want it to, especially if you don't want your documents to look like that, and I'll just say this, there are proposals that I've received that have that format. I don't take them seriously because I know the people didn't put in work into them. I basically know I can do another prompt that can make the same thing for me. So you're sending me a proposal that you want to do X, Y, Z for me, but I can also use AI to do the same for me. So you have to be very careful to escape at least that from the visual point of view. So as a business, as much as AI is generating content for you, make sure it's aligning with your brand, it's aligning with your unique documents, your fonts, your branding, and all that. Yeah. Then you had the second question. I think I will do that. Then my colleagues will do the rest, or also chime in on the same options on out. I thought Outlook has Copilot. Yes. So I think on Outlook it's integrated with Copilot. So it's the option that you could use. But I'm pretty sure there are others that. Yeah, Copilot is the Gemini version of Google. Yeah, there are two different ecosystems. And I'm a Google enthusiast, so a lot of us use Workspace. Yeah, not so many use Outlook.
So maybe just to add on what Alexander said on the test of AI, as you are progressing in terms of this usage of AI, one thing as a user of AI, you don't need to always start from a blank check with AI. Because if I'm good in sales, I already know and have an evaluation of how a good objective looks like. It's called test. Like the way I started, like a good director of a producer of music, you can walk in a room and know these guys are gonna be a big star just by the taste of the music this guy is producing, even without taking it to the stadium. So the same way when you are using AI, you really need to understand your stuff well. I can't say that I can't use AI to make myself a good salesperson, because at the end it will just show that I'm not a good person, because it may give me generic insights and all that. But a good person will always know how to handle objectives. And these objectives are not really personalized. They're not really personalized in terms of AI. AI has been trained on multiple data, not proprietary data that are daily on a real example stuff. So one thing to help you enable you to step out or to stand out in terms of your craft, become the best in your craft first. Understand the concept. If you are a salesperson, invest on your craft. Then AI will just come to augment what you are doing, because you'll see this output and say, no, this is not how you should be able to respond, because you already know your stuff well. So, and then just to touch on the, because I use Microsoft on a daily basis. It has Copilot, and Microsoft has Cloud Excel. If you're a salesperson, I can show you how to do. So on the Copilot, Cloud Excel, you can also generate table, insight, and all that. You just plug it on that. It connects automatically on that, if you're on a paid Cloud and on a paid Microsoft. So it makes your earning easy. You can get reports, you can get all that from and you can connect also to your data source from Microsoft. So that is it. That's from me on the outlook. So I don't know, for data privacy, maybe I may not have foot there. So, and for employment, just to touch on employment, one thing I've realized that most, maybe Alexander will confirm if I'm right, most people in CEOs and all that, when you come to them, they are mostly less reactive to good CVs and all that. They are interested in what are you solving, because what is the definition of work? I should say definition of work is solve a problem. So if I come to you, I can solve a problem. If I go to a company, they look at it, I can sell 10 X items in a day. I don't need to impress them on my CV. Even if AI is there, they'll know this guy knows is good stuff. So the next thing that is going to happen in employment, we are going to cut off what we called people that are not good at all. Because being mediocre at this age is more risky in your time. That's the truth. Because the thing that you could do, AI can do a bit. So, but if you need to be more advanced, if you are a salesperson, be the best in the field, not just in the local where you are. Try and be as the best even in the regional, then global and all that. So that's have that kind of mindset. Because if you have the mindset that I'm just going to write a good CV, present to the CEO, to the ATC, HR, it will pass the HR, but can you sustain 2 months into the job? Because at the end of the day, if AI wrote for you the CV, 2 months you'll just be kicked off. So that's what I can just tell you. For someone who is also in employment, also yearning to it, I've also put into myself that I don't want just to be good in, just to outthink my need to AI. I have to be good at, by investing on the knowledge, investing on my craft, be that good, and then you can be able now to leverage. Because at the end of the day, these degrees and all that, they don't really count when you are good at solving a problem, but they are good for showing that at least you have umefika mahali kwa masomo. So that's it.
The rest of time, I'll not add, but I think the questions have been answered. There's a question from David. I really didn't get it clearly. I don't know whether it was around how to balance data privacy with. Is it? Oh, it was. So David, is safe usage of AI. If that was the question. Okay. That's I normally say. Be careful with the AI that you use. Okay? There are AIs that have clear and good guardrails out there. Okay? Gemini, Claude, these are folks who put safety first and then other things. So even your kids who use AI, for instance, just be careful of what AI they're using. Okay? The AIs that are just out there to give you everything and anything and unverifiable information. Avoid such. And then something else, you need to trust an AI that you can give your personal information. Because Claude, Gemini, they'll ask you, do you want, like personally, do you want me to be able to, answer based on, other tools that you have, or just want me to restrict what you'll be able to ask? So make sure when you go to any tool you're using, be intentional that I want this thing to be able to have my personal information or not. So that will answer on that. To clearly touch on employability, I think what I need to say is you can use AI to get the job in terms of CV, interview, all those things, but AI will not necessarily keep the job for you because job needs human relations, empathy, critical thinking. Critical thinking is very important. You can think critically behind the curtains when you're using AI, but now in real practical setup, can you think critically? Okay? Can you be able to pick nuances that AI cannot be able to pick? So there are those skills that are important, whether you went to school pre-generative AI or post-generative AI. The most important thing is, do you have these skills that AI cannot replace?
Yes, I'm a data analyst and I'm dealing with issues of legacy data. In your experience, what is the best way to go around? Because there's a point where we have clean data that is managed properly. It's are well defined. We know what a pipeline means. We know what everything is supposed to be and where it is stored. But before that, what is your experience with dealing with that kind of data with different kind of businesses? And is it on case-to-case basis? Like how have you handled those kind of situations?
At what point, if do we? Let me just use the word on my head. Do we stop lazy thinking because AI has come into place? I have struggled with people presenting either a proposal, a CV. You can clearly see the work. It was just an AI-generated thing. Then when you tell them to present their skills or their capabilities, they are not able to do so. So how do we control this? Where I'm using AI as a tool to enhance my efficiency, not as something to maybe put me forward, knowing very well I don't have the capacity and the capability to handle the task ahead.
Give some insights how really we can use this, to enhance productivity end to end in our business, and probably just to give context. A lot of our operations are around, of course, business development. So we have engineers who are tech sales teams out there looking for opportunities that then we solve for our solutions. And then, of course, the service delivery side that are project engineers executing. And then, of course, there are support services here, like finance and HR. So, we are at this space where we are saying there are so many that we can do, but where can we start using what we already have with us? Thanks.
So legacy data. So there are two kinds of organizations. There are those that there might be reasons why you need to, there are different reasons why you might want to keep the legacy. There are some that say, from this time to this time, it's relevant so that we wouldn't need. Let's just start off from a certain point that we have cleaner data moving forward. And I find that powerful when an organization is able to decide that. The question actually would be, why would you need the legacy? Even before we go to how would you still incorporate the legacy data into like what you have, like your modern ecosystem, the pipelines and all that. But I believe that now, this is just thinking as an engineer also, which is my background. There are ways that you can try mirror back. And with AI right now, and there are different ways that you could create something that can read this and convert it to this other without so much hassle. So it's basically like you're building a converter, a middleware to convert then you see how, if it's maybe sales data, you post backdating. It's just weird ways to think. It depends on if it's a custom solution you've built for yourself that now stores the data, it's easy for you to get it there. But since you're talking about pipelines, it means that you are probably pulling data from different sources, having them in one place. So you wouldn't need to think about the complexity of backdating and bringing the data. You just make something that reads the legacy, puts it in your data, and something that reads the modern and maps it this other side. But you have to be very smart to make sure that the relationships of any entities of data are compliant. So the first question is, why do you need the legacy? What will it affect post? What consequence of what importance does it have going back? Is it more relevant? Or are we tunasoma gazeti ya 1993? Yeah, gazeti ya 1993 hiyo ilishapita. Hata gazeti ya juzi. Yeah, so I think that's how I would think about. But technologically, I don't see, as long as the legacy also was stored in some form that makes some sense, there's always way to convert. If it's pipeline, then maybe, yeah. So there was a second question. Yeah, and I think this still ties on, so it's a question on human interaction. How do you control the lazy thinking and all that? It's so unfortunate, but it ties to what he had said. The people who are gonna stand out actually are smart people. A time is coming where if you are just a bare minimum player, even AI will not help you. You must be a great player for AI to also be helpful for you. Somebody who's making a presentation for me with AI and they can't really come and articulate what it is, then they won't stand a chance in an organization. So for me as CEO, when hiring, actually I don't think we have, at Solutech, we have a team of around 56. We don't have a single CV record like that we've kept to just say that this is a CV. So the CVs are just an entry to sieve and see, so what can these people do? And now we have an eye of seeing the glamorous things. So we know when somebody is trying to use those complicated words to describe very simple things. Now the interview, we are trying to be more human now. If I'm hiring you, I want to know what you're made, like what makes you, what are some decisions you've made in life that were really difficult and of course were not AI.
And only if you allow AI to do everything, they will not need you. You must show your value. And your value as a human being, again, as I've said, is the empathy, building connection, and being real. If you do that, then I don't think there'll be, AI will just complement what we do. AI will just make us be more efficient. AI will give us more time to do things that matter a lot. So there'll be nothing like work-life balance. You know, there's nothing like work-life balance. What's there is you work, okay? And at the same time, you're supposed to enjoy the work you are doing. You can't be, I'm waiting until 6 or 5 p.m. so that I can go enjoy with my family or something. No. Even as you work, you can get time to call your spouse or your boyfriend or your parent or something. Make work to be not a monotonous thing that, Monday to Thursday, I drill it, 8 to 5. No. Just see how you can be able to get more done, okay, with less time. So that to answer the first question. The second one is future-proof yourself. I've already answered this with AI. Is essentially just pick a tool. No, don't start with a tool, no. Pick a problem that you want to solve and then research a tool, okay? I'm not necessarily here to tell you Google tools are great. They can do a lot of this thing. But the first step can always, if you're not sure, just go Gemini, ask Gemini. The problem, then the tool, and then give yourself time. Do not mix tools, you'll get confused. Give yourself time to be able to practice, to be able to research, to be able to apply it before you move to the next problem or before you use to the next tool. Thank you.
So mine I'll just start with, as you say, it's called artificial intelligence. So I usually start from the definition of intelligence. So this is what it says, that intelligence is a it comes from two. For you to be intelligent, you have to have pattern recognition and ability to acquire, adapt, and apply knowledge to solve novel problem in a new environment. So as you are talking about the artificial intelligence, its ability not just to go to ChatGPT or Claude and prompt it. What I'll just encourage you is that just reference back to, as someone who wants to be good at AI, first understand your craft very well. If you want to be a good salesperson and you want to use AI to make you good, don't start with AI. Go get a book from the best professional who are salespeople, read it. By the time you're coming to AI, there's something you're being told. Context is the key. You can't generate a context that you don't know. So first, go get the knowledge from the people who have worked. So by the time you're coming to the AI, that thing, you are an expert. Usually you can write that thing. You are that prompt. You are an expert, this. Then your context is generic. So your output will just be generic. No matter how much you say AI, you are an expert. It depends on your context. So what I just make sure that if you want to be a master at it, get good at your craft. If you are somebody who is in marketing, go look for somebody who has worked that and read that book or get that knowledge. Then when you come to AI, you're just giving the context of what looks the nice or the good, perfect. Then for human touch, AI cannot replace the human touch, but it can help you augment. So when I say augment, is like, if you don't know how to greet people, no matter how much you go to ChatGPT and it tells you, for you to greet people, you must do this. If you don't have that attitude, attitude you cannot change. So you need that basic. It all starts with you, the why. Some people, when they come to me, they ask me, like, I want to use AI to be more productive. I usually I got this principle from my YouTube. Just ask somebody 3 whys and you'll get why they want to be productive. By the third why, you realize not that they want to be productive. They want to outsource their thinking to AI, which is not a good thing. So by just asking yourself the 3 whys, why do you want to be productive? Why do you want? By the third why, you'll be able to know why you want to be that productive, why do you want to use AI. So you can realize, I want to be lazy, not to be productive, by augmenting my thinking or just to outsourcing my thinking, which is not a good thing. Because if you do that, you will be easily replaceable or easily be done away. So that is for that. And for a sales professional, how do I become, or how do we adapt to this new term of AI? I can say the best way to stand, as everybody is really rushing to use AI, you sit down. As people are living books, not people are living books. These books, they're living podcasts, they're living real information going. Because everybody, if you ask ChatGPT how to become the best salesperson, it will give you, everybody in the room will get this almost the same thing. So what will make you the different among people? Unique is that ability that you have synthesized information that people are not synthesizing. The books, the podcast, these hard things that make you critical thinking. So that's how you can be able to survive. So as people are rushing to AI, you take time, read books, podcasts, and then when you come to AI, it becomes a something that you just build, augment on top. So that is how you can be able to leverage or to survive. So that's my parting shot.
Thank you. Great. So I think I would say AI is not taking away the human touch of things. I would say probably it's handing us back time. It's handing us back more time to even be more human. Personally, there are things that I don't do as often because of too many things that I need to do probably around work. So probably sport, maybe play music, travel, visit different places, or just get extra time to do other stuff. So AI actually in some way is bringing back the other things that are even more human. Yeah. But that said, there's that side of social and human and all these other things. There's the other part of the lazy element that we spoke about. What it's gonna do is the job market will demand more excellence in terms of what you do in whatever part of the business you participate. So if you are a salesperson, you have to be excellent in it. If you are writing strategy, you have to be still very, very good in it, because it's garbage in, garbage out. There's an example that I think you gave. If you want to make a proposal and you're just going into AI and you want that proposal, you don't have context of what you're looking at the end. I've noticed that sometimes I'm lazy in terms of explaining to this AI what I want. So you just jump into what you want. It gives you responses that are very bare. So for me, I'm able to know that no, this response is just too bare. Like, even without AI, I would still have thought about that. So if you're not good in whatever you do, you will not be able to detect the bare minimum, because it's the garbage in, garbage out. Or you give it very lightweight inputs, it will give you lightweight responses. You give it solid, that is now based on your experience, then that is what you still get back. Yeah. So with AI, there will be a demand for more and more excellence. Yeah. So as salespeople, how do we get to thrive with AI? Is augment yourself with the tools, of course. Get to be aware of what is that leverage that you could get with the tools. Get to understand how you use them, put them into use. But more importantly, softer skills will still outweigh how good you are in using AI. So if you know how to speak, you know how to storytell, you can go to a customer, you can have insights on what a customer can buy, but the way you speak, the way you build relationships, AI can't build relationships with your customers. It can't build trust with your customers. AI can't take your customers for korogas at Rejinja. You still have to do some of these things, because it's naturally how business works. So there are all those other parts you have to come out of your, as a salesperson, you have to master that. You have to master people skills, being reliable, the art of being reliable. You keep your word. So those are softer things that, as salespeople, I think in the wake of AI, we must really focus on. That's all.
All right. Let's appreciate Cliff. Thank you so much. Yes, Tesana. Oh, context ndio hiyo basi. Looks like the army also wants to join in the photo. Oh. Nice one, nice one. Asante sana, Alexander. Thank you. Yes, Alexander, thank you so much. Nice one. All right. Asante sana. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Charles. Wow, it's been an interesting morning. I thought this would end by around 11:30. I was telling Alexander, I know you're a busy man, but by 11 we'll be done. Yeah, but I mean, the conversations are quite interesting, and also impressive that most of you are still here, hours later. And, the more I get to attend this kind of events about AI, I live excited, but also at the same time a little bit stressed, because I don't know what to use, and I also feel that I know so little. And I think I'll go with what Cliff said, that you choose one tool and you just make it work for you. And also Cliff said something very interesting, that if they didn't have lecturers, as long as he had a course outline, he would still pass. And I mean, I believe that, because we were in the same uni with Cliff. And I mean, you couldn't even tell he's around, because he spent a lot of time in the library. He's one of those guys that were very, very serious. Yeah. But as we close, so I did speak about this. I want to close with 2 or 3 slides about something very exciting that starts next month. So in our event in March, I spoke about the launch of the mentorship program. And personally, I'll say a product of mentorship. I'm an engineer by training. You know, I did electrical engineering. I mean, it's the most, I think, sought after and exciting engineering discipline you can think of out there. Yeah? I know I argue with a lot of people. And of course, I didn't want to sell. I wanted to go fix machines, and because machines do not talk back, they are not annoying as people. But I got into the sales space, and the reason that I'm still in this space is because I landed in the hands of a good mentor, and this was my first job. During that time, I was with the Davis and Shatliff, you know, as an intern. And after that, I decided, you know what? I think I can talk to people. I think I can communicate value. I think I can give solutions that really meet the needs of our customers. And many might not believe it, but I'm an introvert. Yeah, but you know, over time, you know, speaking with people, I get to enjoy the extrovertism of all this. So we're launching this mentorship program that starts next month. In July, we'll be taking our first cohort. And who is this mentorship for? So it's a 6 months mentorship program, and it's for any salesperson that has been in the sales space for more than three years. So why 3 years? It's because if you're like me, maybe you got into the sales space because you wanted to use it as you wait for something exciting to happen or to get an exciting role. And I really wanted to work with all the big manufacturing companies you can think of. So within 3 years, you're more or less sure that you want to stick in the sales space, but you're also wondering, how do I move to the next level? How do I stop being a sales rep to maybe, you know, handle a region or manage teams? And that's why it's very, very important that it's after 3 years in the sales space, and you're looking to transform this talent into what I'm calling sales leaders. You know, being a leader of yourself and being a leader of other people. So how is the structure looking like for this first cohort? So we have the 6 months that starts from July all the way to December. And the first month, we'll do what we call a personality test. I want to know, how are you, you know, as a person, as a professional? You know, how do you handle, you know, pressure? How do you handle time management, for example? So we want to do a proper profile of yourself and give it to you and walk you through the report so that you understand yourself. Because you cannot be a leader of people if you do not know yourself, and therefore you cannot lead yourself. Okay? Then after that, there is a pairing, I'll say, exercise that will happen. We have an exciting panel of volunteer mentors for this program, which I'll highlight shortly. But they are defined, say, subjects for these 6 months. Yeah, up to the end of December, where we shall hold a graduation and telling you, I mean, you have done well, and we hope that through the 6 months, we'll see some transformation. So in terms of time commitment, we're looking at 1 hour, that's the standard, per month for the 6 months. Now, depending on the relationship that you have with our mentor, I mean, nothing stops you from having 2 or 3 sessions, but you understand that our mentors are busy people. So depending on how you gel with them, they may even opt for physical sessions, more sessions, not just once a month. So it's all up to the mentees to define how this relationship works. Other than the structured 6 months, you know, 1 hour interactions every month, there's also a very important aspect that we bring into this, and it's a CEO's breakfast. So during the 6 months, we'll decide whether it's in August or September, but we'll have a one-on-one session as a group with a sitting MD, for example, or a senior director, telling you what they look for in sales leaders and what are some of the problems that are keeping them awake, you know, and how can you help them solve these problems. I think this is very, very exciting in terms of getting to hear from them and also increasing your network. But also through the 6 months, we have around 3 or 4 online masterclasses touching on personal branding. So if I go to your LinkedIn, how does it look like? I mean, is it professional? Or you have the blue LinkedIn banner that is there. I mean, if a recruiter is looking for you, they probably start with your LinkedIn. And about your personal branding, I mean, how do you dress? Do you dress for the occasions when you're going to meet customers, things like this? about soft skills. How do you listen better? So there's around 3 or 4 online sessions that are part of this. And this being the flagship cohort, I know the biggest question is, so what is the investment in terms of money for this program? Yeah, mentorship is actually very expensive. Yeah, but for this first cohort, which covers the whole of East Africa, it will be 15,000 for the 6 months. So if you do quick maths, I don't know how much that is per month. And I must also acknowledge the person who will be running this program, the project director, Madam Kimberly Maura, just wave to the people. So Kimberly will be running this. She has a lot of experience in mentorship and also running programs. She used to mentor for Good Kenyan, no? For those who know Good Kenyan. And this is some of the select mentors for this program. Not all of them. There's another list of 10 that is yet to be finalized. But just to give you a brief intro, so Peres Nyambura, actually I met her some time back when she was still in the steel industry. Where is Phyllis? They were actually, you know her? Okay. They were actually workmates, but Danco Capital does manufacturing, I think, of pipes. Yeah, piping and plumbing. Then we have Kennedy Osano, who is the Senior Key Accounts Director of Ebury. Ebury are in FinTech. We also have Lamek Nyakoe, Regional Head of Service Operations for the whole of East Africa. From the company I work for, Beulah, so we're in manufacturing of milling equipment. Then there is Ludi Karanja, SME Product Lead. She works for Kingdom Bank. Then we have Scholastica Mbindio, Director of Sales and Marketing for Acorn Holdings Limited. They're in real estate. Then the one and only Caroline Moria. Where is she? She sits at the back. CEO of Upton Arc Africa. They are BTL marketing agency. Then we have Dr. Sylvia Gani, Commercial Marketing Director of Salvador Caetano. So these are distributors of things like Kia, Hyundai. It's not Hyundai, it's Hyundai, and other brands. Then we have, so it's quite across the region. We have Taraya Ali Ahmed, a Director of Sales and Marketing, Sifao in Tanzania. So that's quite exciting. And Bwana CEO of Solutech, Mr. Alexander Othiambo. We have Faith Ndano, General Manager for Fox International Logistics, a logistics company. We have Seguja Hassan, Regional Sales Director of Abot. Abot are in medical supplies. And James Mwalo, Head of Business Development in, how do you pronounce that word? L'Oreal, yeah? They're in cosmetics. And another 6 or so. So, I mean, people of substance. And that's what we're looking to do, bringing you value. So what is next? Our next event is in 5th of September. It will be a Saturday, so a day like this very location, and we're talking about the unfair advantage. And to summarize it is what makes great salespeople great. And I can give an example. I mean, let's say I'm working for Cipla, like Kenya Nito, and we are colleagues, so we have the same manager. How is it that Kenya Nito performs better than I do? With the same systems, with the same bosses, same company. So what is the differentiating factor? Is it my personal, my personality, or do I go to that church that Alexander alluded earlier, of the mighty somebody, or something else? Maybe they pray facing the other side. So it will be exciting dissecting this and seeing how that works. And also very, very exciting. In our last event in March, we launched the first ever sales conference that will happen in Kenya and in East Africa at large. So we are preparing for this, and I get excited whenever I think about it. So it's a dream that is quite, I'll say, frightening, but also exciting. I mean, what can we learn out of all this? And actually, I'm also extending an invitation to you early enough. You block your calendar on the 6th of November, because I would love you to be a speaker as well and talk about strategic selling in the age of digitization and AI. And Mr. Google, I love to book his calendar like 6 months, but I think 6 months are already over. So I'll see what we can do. And that's it for today. As usual, I just want to thank you for being part of this community. Let's spread the word when we're having such kind of events. Let's bring other people so that we learn together and together we transform the sales profession, because I don't think it's given the respect it deserves. Asanteni sana.